Hey Fit Fam, this is Coach Ryan from Team Flex. Today we're going to dive into a competition review of some class winners from the Gold Coast Muscle Classic. Okay, so this is a muscle contest event. Gold Coast event just happened February. And this means our season is rocking and rolling. So we're going to be looking at some classes. We're going to be talking about criteria, go over the placings, why they landed the way that they did, or at least maybe why, and hopefully give all of you a better insight into the criteria and what you need to bring to that Bikini stage 2025, which is where we are at. Let's get down to it. So I have class winners on the screen here. Class A winner, Brielle. Class B winner, Ina. And Class C winner over here, Alexandra. Okay, so these are our three we're going to look at. They all won their class. Really good example of criteria is what we're going to get at NPC level when you see this. So those of you watching, you want to start competing. You're going to be competing in the NPC at a regional event, something close to you, local competition. Very similar types of stuff that you're going to see on the screen today is what you will see winning classes at those events. Okay, it's just how it goes. So let's dive into this, and we'll also note specifically the overall winner when we get there. She is not in this lineup right now. So class winners here, and Bikini is all about hourglass shape. So you need to have, the fullness and the roundness to the shoulders, tapers into the midsection, and then, comes back out into the lower body, the glutes. We'll see this on every single athlete. So hourglass shape across the board for all three of our class winners. However, you will note that each of them wins it differently, right? One thing I do want to note too, a lot of people get confused on the classes, Class A, Class B, Class C. Like, we're going to go all the way to F on this. And basically, the classes are just your height, okay? So you get your height, get a class. That's where you compete. You compete against other women that are the same height as you, basically, to sum it up. All right, so here's what we got. Let's look a little bit more at our Class A winner. So good roundness and fullness to the shoulders. This is what creates that upper body shape. Great taper into the waist. Okay, the more narrow you can get your waist, Bikini compares, I'm telling you, it's an advantage for you on stage. Okay, so really make sure you're not overdoing abdominal exercises. You're focused on things. I'm not a huge advocate of people doing waist trainers and stuff. However, some competitors love it. Vacuums, one thing I've talked about on this channel forever. I've had basically all of my competitors doing vacuums, even in the men's divisions, because it's just such a great way to pull the waistline in. Really good for all you bikini competitors. If you want to be a bikini competitor, start doing your vacuums, okay? You'll thank me later. Great taper in here that creates that first hourglass shape. Basically, the most symmetrical athletes, the most balanced athletes, they're going to be the ones that are going to win these classes. And that's what we're seeing. So, her shoulders, or shoulder size, shape, all that should match really what we see in the lower body with the glutes, hamstrings, and quads. Okay, I will say she's a little bit quad dominant, it would appear, right? So that's one thing you all want to focus on. If she's going to continue on, try to go to nationals, get a pro card, we'll want to kind of bring up the glutes a bit to bring just a little bit more balance between the lower body. It's very important. And the upper body too, I would say maybe adding a little bit more size here, but overall wins the class. Great example of criteria. Again, very common for what those of you out there that are competing at your local events will see on stage. Okay, now let's look over here at Ina. What we can see right out the gate, I want to note, possible tweaks to her posing, might be warranted, might be a good idea. I don't know. She still wins her class, so does great there. There are things that me as a coach, I would change with her posing, have her probably be a little bit more upright, rotate the hips a little bit, and bring just the shoulders a little bit more of that, not such a squared on look. However, everybody poses differently. The way you want to pose is going to be different, and everybody's in it for their own journey, but I'm just making notes for all of you watching. The pose looks different because it does look a little bit different. That's because she's going to pose however she wants to pose, right? And you get to do that too. So very exciting for all you competitors out there carving your routines. She wins the class. Great physique, great overall look. Brings the shoulders, everything here. Fullness is good. Tapers into the waist. You're going to get a little bit less of that waist taper effect though, due to the posing choice she has, right? So a little bit more of that abdominal coming forward look. That's going to make you look a little more up and down, could be rectangly compared to a more, of the classic kind of what we could call the side pose, if you will. That's really the bikini front pose at this point that we will see a lot of athletes utilize in bikini division. So Overall, pulls it together. Great look. Lower body looks a tad dominant here to me, right? She's got a lot of glute and a lot of quad and a lot of hamstring, but that's all right. Still pulls it together. She's got a little bit more muscle up top to match it. So very on par with criteria as far as what you would see in a regional local event. Looking over here now at Alexandra, same things. Good hourglass shape, going to be noted. A little bit tighter on the condition for her than the other two, right? You can see a little bit more lines in the hamstrings, the glutes, the oblique, a little bit more in the shoulder. So she's definitely got a little bit more pop to her physique overall because she's a little leaner. That's what you start to see, right? So variances within conditioning, however, all still on with criteria. You want to bring that roundness, that fullness to the shoulders, and then have the glutes, quads, and hamstrings all match. Her hamstrings are a tad maybe overpowering to her glutes, I will say that. So, just these areas you want to be focused on, even if you win your competition, by the way, folks, all you watching, okay? If you're going to go compete, even if you win, you still want to get feedback. You still want to have further direction. You still want to know where you need to be going to do better on stage, right? Because most people do not just win one comp and then quit competing forever. They want to go on to win another one, or they want to win an overall, or they want to go pro, or whatever it is. So your journey continues. All these athletes are going to have feedback from the judges like, hey, okay, cool. You won. You did a great job. You still got to do this, got to do that, right? So you want to make sure you know your feedback and know areas to bring that through for all watching. Now, we always talk about how when we look from the back, we get the full story. And here we really do tend to get the full story again from all of our athletes. We're still looking at the overall shape and everything being the hourglass shape. We'll want to see that on everybody. And what we can see here is the roundness in the shoulders, still prevalent look. You should really have that. Each is going to have it a little bit differently, right? Like Ina has a little bit less of that pop than Brielle does in the back. And that's, again, something you would see over here. Alexandra has a little bit less in, what we can see just because of her hair. So, again, very common for what we see. The most of what judges are looking for lower body at these competitions is going to be glutes and, hamstrings really primarily. That's what the back pose is all about. So, Brielle's got the upper glute shape, overall glute shape, a slight separation in the tie-in, very on par with criteria. This is where you would see it. Same's going on over here for Ina, a little bit of a softer look, not as much conditioning, but still upper glute, overall glute, slight separation in the tie-in. And over here, a little bit of a more leaner look for Alexandra, where she brings in upper glute here, overall glute, tie-in. This is very, again, all on par with criteria where you would see first place winners at your event. Let's move down the line now, okay? So I'm going to leave Alexandra here, by the way, if you're like, whoa, she was already in there. Well, we only had two more classes. We had class D and F, basically, and it just didn't make sense to have an open spot. It looks weird on the screen. I had to do it. So, by the way, you guys, if you're enjoying this, subscribe, hang out with me, and keep in mind we do offer a free coaching trial all the time. So if you're looking at this, you're like, okay, I hear what you're saying, Coach Rye. I know I got to build the shoulders, got to work on the glutes, get the shape right, get the balance. And you don't know how to do that, you want better insight, we do offer a free trial where you can come in, just do workouts and, hang out with me. I'll tell you everything you want to know. I'll answer all your questions. It's all free, no obligation. So I don't say that enough, so I'm going to try to say it a little bit more in my videos because people are like, what? You mean you have a trial? I've been watching your videos for 5 years. Well, yes, we do have a free trial. It's in the description, by the way, if you want to jump in on that. Okay, let's get down to it now. Here's where we're at. A couple more. So Anastasia here is our Class D winner and our overall winner. So that means out of all the other winners in this lineup that we're looking at today, she won the whole show, bikini champion, if you will, beats all the class winners, is the overall winner. So this is a very big goal for a lot of people. A lot of competitors do not even attain that goal per se, right? It's hard to do to win against all other class winners, So, a lot of competitors have a hard time just winning their class. So overall winner is probably the best example of criteria, what you need to know at any event that you're going to do and or participate in. So that is our Class D winner, Anastasia. She's the overall winner. And over here we have Clara. She is Class F. I don't know where Class E went. Maybe they just combined Class E and F. It's noted as Class F. Maybe it's Class E. I don't know. That's what it's noted on the website. All right, so let's take a look here. Basically, what we're going to see is all the same stuff. Hourglass shape ties in well. Where we get a little bit of a difference coming, though, from Anastasia to everybody else in the lineup is in her muscularity. So she does have a lot more just in general muscle mass and size and shape. So you can see a little bit more in her shoulders, little bit more even into the obliques and the waist here. You know, she's starting to give even like a little bit of a six-pack look, even though that's not what you want to have. Just really indicates per se the amount of muscle she has. Most muscle in her glutes and hamstrings and quads out of anybody else in the lineup. Pretty much on par with conditioning, where we would see these soft line separations. So that's kind of how she edges out, I think, is just having a little bit more muscle than everybody else we looked at. And looking over here at Clara, very good physique, on par with criteria. Everything's there. Shoulder shape, tapers into the waist. Maybe needs a tad more, you know, lower body, glutes, hamstrings, quads, just to bring up that size to match her upper body. Again, something very common you'll see, but wins her class. Great job, great physique overall. And now let's go to the back. So back pose again, where you get to really see the full story. And we do see that story being told here yet again. Anastasia has the most muscle in the group for sure. So she's got the most upper glute fullness, most overall glute fullness, the most prominent slight separation between the glute and hamstring tie-in. You can see even that hamstring mass in the back pose. So very overall, you know, the overall winner in bikini, in other words, is winning based on having, you know, very on par condition and bringing a little bit more muscle. So we look over here at Clara and we can see, you know, her shoulders pretty prominent. And I think what I was kind of saying from the front, probably a factor, right? Needs a little bit more work in the glutes shapes here, but maybe more size would be an advantage. And then, you know, slight separation between glute, hamstring, all that's good. Bring through maybe a little bit more muscle, or at least that's how this competition went. When we consider all of the class winners, it would appear that conditioning for all of them is pretty close. Some maybe a little leaner, some maybe a little softer, but Anastasia wins on having more muscle. So clear message from judges, which we continue to see, and I talk about all the time on this channel. Bikini is not, you know, just about just showing up in a bikini and you're going to win, right? It's a constant message that, hey, you got to train to attain these physiques. You got to bring more muscle. So judges at this show, all of these athletes win their class because they did exactly that, right? They have a good muscular base, got good shape. They brought it all. Nobody here is showing up. They won. They're all training very hard to attain this look. And Anastasia wins the class with just a little bit more muscle than the rest of the group. So again, I think a very clear message from judges. Keep building that muscle, ladies. Keep working on that. And remember, if you don't know how to do that, check out my free trial. It's awesome. People love it. If you enjoy these videos, and you're like, I learned so much, I can teach you a lot more, okay, as we go in the free trial. So, yeah, that's the end of the video there, folks. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like somebody else to have taken the overall. Do you like the direction of the look for 2025 where we're going for bikini? Are you competing in bikini? Comment. I love reading your comments, and thank you for watching. Coach Ryan is out.